So now we're going to take up Representative Cha's bill, House File 2177. And just so members know, we can go a little bit over today, so we may do that because we have a lot of folks who want to testify on this bill. And so, Representative Cha, welcome to the committee. So I'm going to move that House File 2177 be re-referred to the Committee on Commerce, Finance, and Policy. And as we get going today, I just want to say that, first of all, this bill, obviously there's significant interest in this bill, and we have a lot of people who want to testify. We really need to limit the testimony to 2 minutes. I hope everyone will really help us in doing that. If we go over, I will have to stop you. I don't want to have to do that, so please monitor yourselves. The other thing is that this is the Health Committee. There's significant commerce discussion that goes on around this bill. That discussion should happen in the Commerce Committee where the bill is going. So we should limit our discussion today to this committee's jurisdiction, which is the health issues around the bill. So I hope we can do that. And I understand there is an author's amendment, an A1 amendment, to put the bill in the order in which Representative Cha would like to have it discussed, and looks like that just changes the date. So correct. I will move the A1 amendment. All in favor of adoption of the A1 amendment, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion prevails. The amendment is adopted. So, Representative Cha, to your bill as amended.
Thank you, Chair Leland, Vice Chair Bierman, and Minority Leader Schumacher, and members of this committee. I want to thank former Representative Halverson and Representative Frazier for the predecessors of this bill. Today in committee, I came down here, I brought something with me. 3 of the most important things in my life. A photograph of my 3 daughters. I want to start this bill by talking a little bit about my daughter. And due to the essence of time, I'll keep it short and get right to the bullet points and continue with my, let's see here. These are, it's a part of testimony that my daughter gave to me, but I'm just going to get to the bullet point. Dad, I budgeted vaping before my food supply ration, my daily necessity supplies that I needed. I lost a lot of weight, Dad, because I was never hungry, because I was always vaping. It made me depressed. I was resentful. I was alone. I was scared, isolated. Without my vape, I felt naked. I felt abandoned, Dad. My mornings couldn't start without vaping. And my life was on pause. I didn't realize I was addicted until I tried to quit. That's my daughter. Today I'm presenting House File 2177, a crucial measure aimed at eliminating all flavored tobacco products from the Minnesota market, including menthol cigarettes, flavored cigarettes, e-cigarettes, and shisha. This bill is not new. It's undergone multiple hearings over the past few years, has been enacted successfully in 29 Minnesota communities. It was widespread support with 62% of residents and 68% of the African American backing the prohibition of flavored tobacco products in the state of Minnesota. The urgency behind this legislation is clear. The tobacco industry relentlessly targets our youth. This targeting of youth with flavored products is concerning because it can lead to nicotine addiction and lifelong health consequences. 1 in 7 11th grade students report the news of vaping e-cigarettes. And over 80% of youth who try tobacco start with flavored products. I refuse to stand by while tobacco industry profits off our children's health and future. It's time to send a clear message. The safety and future of Minnesota youth are non-negotiable. Safeguarding Minnesota's youth takes precedent over big tobacco companies. And with that, I would like to open up for the testifiers.
Thank you, Representative Cha. Okay, first on the list, I have Eugene Nichols, followed by Dayquan Uplight, and Gail Bratman, and then Michael Perez. So I'm reading the list so that you can all get ready to come down when it's your turn, and we can move fairly quickly through this. So welcome to the committee. Please state your name and give us your testimony.
Good morning, Chair Liebling, committee. My name is Eugene Nichols. I live in Shoreview, Minnesota, and I'm here representing the Minnesota for a Smoke-Free Generation, a coalition of 50-plus organizations that share a common goal of advancing justice by striving towards a future where every person is free from commercial tobacco's harm and can reach their full health potential. I am also a member of the Menthol Coalition, a group of advocates fighting for the specific problem of menthol in the community, especially the Black community. Ending the sale of menthol cigarettes and all flavored products will improve health outcomes, diminish disparities, and decrease health care costs, ultimately fostering a healthier and more equitable Minnesota for all. For more than 60 years, the tobacco industry has deliberately targeted Black communities with marketing for menthol cigarettes. In the 1950s, only 5% of Black people who smoked used menthol cigarettes. Today, it's nearly 88%. The staggering increase is not happenstance or the pure result of personal choice. It is the inevitable consequence of a powerful industry's relentless efforts to target and profit off the health of lives of people. Growing up in New York, we were affected by the free cigarettes that were given out. Free cigarette vans were strategically located in the Bronx and Harlem, New York City, near social services offices and iconic locations like the Apollo Theater. Receiving his first cigarette in this fashion, my brother started smoking at the age of 15 as a result of that, and he succumbed to COPD after 54 years of smoking menthols. I miss my brother Jimmy. This kind of silent suffering must end. But this isn't an issue of the past. It still happens today. We see it in deliberate marketing of new technologies that addict all users. So is it any wonder that African Americans have the highest death rates and shorter survival rates from most cancers and heart and lung diseases? We can't wait another year to pass House File 2177. Every year, we do nothing, more families experience the pain and suffering I had with my brother Jimmy. Please vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Dayquan, and please, you'll tell me how you say your last name. And then after that, Gail Bratman and Michael Perez. Welcome to the committee.
Good morning, Chair Liebling and committee members. My name is Dayquan Uplight, and I am here from Rochester to express my strong support and belief for House File 2177. I have been working on the vaping epidemic for the last 2 years, first being involved with EPIAC, a Rochester-based youth program focused on ending the sales of vaping. Now I consult with the American Lung Association, and I sit on the Mayor Norton's Youth Advisory Commission, where I work on bettering Rochester and Olmsted County. This includes addressing commercial tobacco and vaping in hopes of stopping persuasive problems caused by fruit, candy, and menthol-flavored cigarettes. Now, all of you guys have the booklet I have right here. This is only one small percentage that all the youths have. This is a voice, all the youths that, well, not all, but some of the youths that are infected. Tens of thousands of kids per year are falling victim to vaping. My generation is not the first to fall victim to these lies presented by big tobacco. These products contain an overabundant amount of nicotine and chemicals, and they are designed to mask the ugly truth. My generation has never seen flavored cigarettes because the FDA has took them out. But menthol cigarettes were left out, creating a loophole at the expense of Minnesotans, especially targeted towards minorities. They found a new way to hook a generation into a lifetime of addiction. We cannot wait another year to pass House File 2177. By the next session, thousands of Minnesotans will become addicted. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Michael Perez, Colleen O'Neill, Namad Khalif. Welcome to the committee.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair Liebling and committee members. My name is Dr. Gail Bratman, and I have been working to help children breathe easier for over 30 years. I am the Director of Pediatric Pulmonary Medicine at Hennepin County Medical Center, as well as an Associate Professor in the Department of Pediatrics at the University of Minnesota. We all hear about the impact of smoking on adults, causing lung cancer, emphysema, heart attacks, and strokes. But from my perspective as a pediatric pulmonologist, I see the impact that smoking and nicotine have on children and young people every day. We are experiencing an e-cigarette epidemic among our children. As you've heard, over 35% of high school students reported that they have ever used an e-cigarette, and among those students who currently use tobacco, 84% of high school and 62% of middle school students either use menthol or other flavored products. These devices deliver ultrafine particles deep into the lungs that impact the developing brain and are dangerous to lung health by causing ongoing airway inflammation. I have seen the harm of youth vaping in my practice with children hospitalized in the pediatric intensive care unit from respiratory failure from vaping. Sadly, even after being in the hospital on respiratory support, they struggle to stop vaping due to their nicotine addiction. Some may talk about e-cigarettes as harm reduction, and that flavored e-cigarettes can be used for quitting. These products are highly addictive and come in flavors that are attractive to children. Moreover, the flavors themselves contain chemicals that are harmful to lungs. Let me be clear. E-cigarettes are not approved by the FDA for quitting, and we have a whole new generation of young people becoming addicted to these products. How is that reducing harm? This is an urgent health issue. We can't wait another year to pass HF 2177. As leaders, you can protect children's health by voting yes to ending the sale of all flavored tobacco products. And Madam Chair, if I may, as a healthcare provider and a lung specialist, I heard the testimony about insulin earlier, and I have to tell you all that the cost of all medications, inhalers, including insulin, is out of control. And I think that any opportunity to limit the cost of life-saving medication by this committee needs to be taken up.
We got to stick to the topic before us, but thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, next testifier, Michael Perez, Colleen O'Neill, Namad Khalif, and then Chief Kelly McCarthy. Welcome to the committee.
Good morning, chair members. Nice to meet you. My name is Michael. I'm 13. I live in St. Paul. I'm from Leech Lake in Guatemala. Acema, or tobacco, was given to us by the Creator as a sacred medicine for Native people. We use it in traditional ways like offering it before we use or take something, or to thank elders for sharing their wisdom. This has always been our way. Unfortunately, big tobacco has worked its way into my culture. There is nothing natural or native about Native American spirit cigarettes. In my classroom, I see students that use vapes to manage their stress and calm down. Older high school students also use cigarettes. I see people my age using vapes and commercial tobacco to manage their anxiety or stress. I wish more kids from my community would use traditional tobacco and other sacred medicines when they are struggling. We can't wait another year to pass House File 2177. Every year, we do nothing. More kids like me are damaging their health and lungs as they become dependent on the products. Please vote yes. Our health depends on it.
Thank you for your testimony. Colleen O'Neill. Welcome to the committee.
Hello, Chair and committee members. My name is Colleen O'Neill. I'm a licensed alcohol and drug counselor. I provide support around substance use for the Mounds View School District, primarily secondary schools. Every day, I help students and families navigate challenges related to substance use. In my work, I have found that the leading reason I meet with middle school students is due to vaping nicotine. I can also share that a vast majority of high school students I meet with vape nicotine as well as use other substances. Nearly all the students I see are using flavored cigarettes, e-cigarettes. Most students say they probably would not have used a vape if the nicotine was not flavored. I brought some examples of one of my high schools in 1 month of vapes that were confiscated. We don't have the vapes that weren't confiscated. Unfortunately, most students don't realize they're struggling with addiction. They view vaping as a coping mechanism for stress and other mental health challenges. Once they realize they are addicted, I do everything I can to help them overcome immense challenges and get off the wheel of addiction. This is incredibly difficult, time-consuming, and at times challenging due to the complexities of addiction. School administrators throughout Minnesota are stretched thin and challenged to meet the needs of our students on both an educational and emotional level. I firmly believe that if we could eliminate flavors, we would see fewer students begin to vape and more students realizing the need for support to help them quit. Minnesota is leading the way in supporting our kids through landmark programs like the Universal School Meals Law that passed last session. Ending flavored tobacco sales is a great next step to keeping our kids healthy, ready to learn, and prepared for the future. We can't wait another year to pass HF 2177. Every year we do nothing, we leave schools standing on a beach with an umbrella in the middle of a tsunami. We also leave our young people at risk for future addiction if we don't do something about this now. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. So to speed things up, just go ahead, please. Representative Cha, I'm going to ask you to maybe sit in the back there or just right behind you, and then I'm going to ask 2 testifiers to come up at a time so that the one who's on deck will be sitting at the table. So I'm like, next one is Namad Khalif, and then Police Chief Kelly McCarthy. Please both come up. And then following that will be Reverend Dr. Charles Gil, followed by Thomas Brant. So I'm going to ask you both to come up at the same time. So Namad Khalif, if I'm saying your name right, welcome to the committee.
Hi, my name is, first of all, good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Namad. I am a freshman at the University of Minnesota, and I want to share my strong support for this bill and want to add one piece to the conversation today. I've seen the impact that 2 tobacco products, in particular e-cigarettes and hookah, have had on my friends and loved ones. Unfortunately, many young people wrongly perceive using e-cigarettes or hookah as somehow safer than smoking cigarettes. This is just not true, but my generation has received a lot of misleading information about these products from the tobacco industry. Some may assume that we need to exempt flavored hookah because it's culturally important to the East African communities. As a member of this community, I want you to know that hookah is not unique to any community or culture, but it is becoming increasingly common among young people from many different backgrounds. And most of these young people are not using hookah for cultural reasons. It is communities like mine that get left behind when policies get watered down. And of course, Black people aren't the only ones hurt by menthol and flavored products. They're popular among all demographics, including Latinx, Hmong, LGBTQ+, and yes, also rural Minnesotans. We can't wait another year to pass House File 2177. Every year we do nothing, more people become addicted and communities like mine get left behind.
All right, thank you for your testimony. So, and then Chief Kelly McCarthy, and then I'm going to ask Dr. Charles Gil to come down. So you could step away and the next person comes down, and that way we fill in and keep going. Welcome to the committee.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Kelly McCarthy, and I'm the current police chief of the city of Mendota Heights, Mendota, and Lilydale, and I'm here today to urge you to support House File 2177. In 2018, Mendota Heights was the first community outside of California to pass an ordinance that banned flavored commercial tobacco products, including menthol. And as police chief, I fully supported this policy initiative because it was a crucial strategy in reducing the number of young people using these dangerous nicotine products in our community, and an important step to advance and build momentum in Minnesota towards broader adoption of this vital public health measure. The comprehensive flavors ordinance in Mendota Heights, as well as House File 2177, does not criminalize the purchase, use, or possession of flavored tobacco for individuals, and it aligns with Tobacco 21 laws and 28 other local licensing ordinances in Minnesota that either restrict or prohibit the sale of flavored tobacco. Our ordinance was successfully implemented in our community, and we worked hand in hand with our retailers to ensure a smooth transition and encourage their voluntary compliance. Minnesota has long been at the forefront of tobacco prevention policies, with a significant portion of our population already covered by local policies that restrict the sale of flavored and/or menthol tobacco products. Despite our efforts, the tobacco industry persists in targeting Minnesota's youth and others through deceptive marketing practices, and there's still much work to be done. This bill addresses critical issues that are of paramount importance to our community and countless others across Minnesota. In fact, in your packet, you received a letter from local officials from cities across Minnesota asking you to support this bill. Every year we do nothing. Minnesotans that live in our community without local policies will continue to be lured into addiction by menthol, candy, and fruit flavors. It is time for our state to act, and please support House File 2177 to create a healthier future for everyone in Minnesota. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Welcome to the committee, and I'm going to ask Thomas Brant to come down and take the other seat. And please, Dr. Gil, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Chair Liebling and the members of the committee. My name is Reverend Charles Gil. I'm the senior pastor of Pilgrim Baptist Church right here in St. Paul, Minnesota. It has been long known that the tobacco industry values profits over people. Money motivates the tobacco industry to aggressively lobby for laws that do more for their own pockets than for the well-being of citizens. To quote the NAACP, the tobacco industry is on a narrow quest for profit, and they have been killing us along the way. This policy is supported by a wide range of black organizations, scientists, and elected officials. These supporters include members of the Congressional Black Caucus, the NAACP, and other black civil rights and health organizations. It also includes 100 Black Men of America Incorporated, the United States Conference of Mayors, and over 300 faith leaders from across this country, including myself and others that are right here in this room today. Contrary to the claims made by the tobacco industry, black voters overwhelmingly support this policy. That brings to mind the audacity of the tobacco industry, which claimed that ending the sale of menthol tobacco would hurt African Americans by increasing incidents of police harassment. That very claim exploits the real issue of police brutality and mass incarceration just to protect their bottom line. Let me be clear. HF 2177 does nothing to criminalize individuals addicted to these products. However, the penalties for selling menthol cigarettes will fall on the industry, not on black Minnesotans who choose to smoke. Chair Liebling and members of the committee, we can't wait another year to pass HF 2177. Every year that we do nothing, we stand by as an industry continues to put profit over people.
Thank you for your testimony. And then I'm going to ask Frank Orton to come down, and our next testifier is Thomas Brant. Please welcome to the committee.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, thank you. My name is Thomas Bryant, and I am the Executive Director of the Minnesota Wholesale Marketers Association. I'm here to speak in opposition to House File 2177. House File 2177 would prohibit the sale of tobacco products which the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has specifically found to be, quote, appropriate for the protection of the public health. Let me explain. Under the 2009 Federal Tobacco Control Act, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration was authorized to regulate the manufacture, distribution, and sale of all tobacco products. For a tobacco product that was introduced into the market after February 15th of 2007, the manufacturer must submit a pre-market tobacco application to the FDA. The agency then conducts an extensive scientific review of accepted applications and determines whether to authorize or decline the future marketing of the product. To find that a product can be marketed, the FDA must determine that the product is appropriate for the protection of the public health. To date, the FDA has issued marketing orders authorizing the sale of 45 tobacco and electronic nicotine products because they met this protective public health standard. Some of these products have flavors such as menthol, mint, or wintergreen. I submitted the list of 45 with my testimony to the committee, and I have others if you need them. As I stated, House File 2177 would prohibit the sale of these federally authorized flavored products, but doing so would be detrimental to the public who want alternatives for their tobacco addiction. In addition, the FDA is waiting for the Biden administration to issue a final decision this month on proposed regulations that would ban the sale of menthol cigarettes and all flavored cigars nationwide. The Minnesota legislature should allow the Biden administration to finalize action on these proposed regulations before taking any state legislative action. Finally, prohibiting the sale of flavored tobacco products will not reduce the demand for such products. If flavored tobacco is banned in Minnesota, Minnesotans could purchase flavored tobacco products on Native American reservations here in the state, in the 4 adjacent states which allow flavored products to be sold on the internet or from unregulated illicit sellers who will sell to anyone of any age who has cash. For these reasons, Madam Chair and members, I urge you to oppose House File 2177. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. And so next will be Frank Orton and then Clay Lambert. So if Clay Lambert could make your way down. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Frank Orton with Orton Oil Company. We're a small family-owned business of 15 convenience stores in northern Minnesota, 2 of which that operate on border communities of East Grand Forks and Moorhead, Minnesota. We've seen firsthand that these types of bans do nothing but shift the purchase to the adjacent states. This position of the state of Minnesota will do nothing more than do that statewide, and as alluded to previously, there is federal movement on it. I think there's also been a bit of a muddying of the waters here in a lot of directions. First and foremost, we talk a lot about e-cigarettes. We're forgetting about one of the main areas here, which is chewing tobacco, grizzly wintergreen, Skull Mint. Many contractors, tradespeople use these products. They're legal adults that understand those. They're our #1 selling SKU in our convenience stores in that area. At the same time, in the state of Minnesota, we allow other substances to be sold, alcohol to be one, most recently THC and marijuana that has flavors. You can certainly go into any liquor store and buy multiple types of vodka with various blueberry, grape, strawberry, any flavor you want, but we're not looking to get rid of those. In terms of the kids, and I have 3 sons myself, 12, 14, and 16, I'm hospitable to those arguments 100%. We've recently raised the age to buy to 21. We're responsible retailers. We not only get stings on ourselves through the BARS program every single month at every single location that we own, we get county and FDA stings at our locations as well. As an industry, we score very, very high in those. We are responsible retailers. So I think there's a few things here that we need to parse through. Removing grizzly wintergreen would be like going to the liquor industry and saying, we're done with Busch Light and Coors Light. That's how commonplace that chewing tobacco is. I want to make sure everybody understands when you're talking about bubblegum flavored e-cigarettes, that's mixed in this as well. In closing, I think it's better served to be handled at the federal level, and that we need to be mindful of the mainstream products that grown adults choose to use, even though it may be detrimental to their own health. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And the next person to come down to the table would be Yasar, and I don't even want to try the last name, and you'll hopefully tell me when you get here. But welcome to the committee, Mr. Lambert.
Madam Chair, committee, thank you for letting me speak today. My name is Clay Lambert, and I own a gas station, convenience store, tobacco store in Minneapolis. I think what's going to happen today is most people are going to talk about some of the things here, but I'm going to talk about myself. In addition to being a business owner, I'm a former smoker who made an informed choice regarding my health implications of smoking. I understood the risk, and I took up smoking, and likewise, I recognize the health benefit. Well, hang on. when I took up smoking, and I recognized the health benefits available to me upon quitting. What's different in my story compared with the HF 2177 is that I made a personal choice, not a government mandate, to quit. It's essential to acknowledge that many smokers have transitioned to alternatives like vape products for similar reasons, and these products offer less harmful options. While I do not assert that vaping is entirely risk-free, reputable sources like the Public Health of England and other public health bodies have found vaping to be at least 95% safer than combustible cigarette products. Banning these products undermines the health reduction efforts and may push former smokers back to harmful habits. Something that happened a few years ago was the industry or the government came after us as retailers and said that we were harming young people by selling vapes. And what it came out to be was that the young people were manipulating the device itself and putting in their own things, and that's what came out to be. It's important that this stuff is manufactured properly, it's administered properly, it's sold properly through us. What's going to happen is it's going to go. I'm in Minneapolis. I see it sold everywhere, underground, everything. A statistic I saw this morning, 73 million packs of cigarettes were sold illegally in the state of Minnesota last year. I'm floored by that because we sell a lot of cigarettes and I don't really see that part of it. So it's my sincere belief that the bill will create winners and losers in the business landscape without substantially impacting public health. I respectfully urge you to consider a balanced approach, taking into account both the public health goals that this committee prioritizes and the economic impacts on local businesses like me. Thank you.
Thank you. And just everyone remembers the economic impact on business is kind of the next committee, although obviously there's crossover of members. Welcome to the committee. I'm going to ask the next person, Tom Madden, to come down. And then the next one on the list will be Joe Zerka. And we are going a little bit over, so just so members are aware. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Liebling, members of the committee. My name is Yasar Abda. I own a convenience store in Fridley and in Little Canada. Today, I stand before you as a business owner and a member of the Minnesota Service and Convenience Store Association to voice my opposition to HF 2177. Convenience stores and service stations have historically provided opportunities for immigrants, embodying the American dream. However, this bill threatens to end this dream. Flavored tobacco products, including menthol cigarettes and chewing tobacco, accounts for a huge percentage of our sales and foot traffic to our convenience stores. Such products are essential to the financial viability of my business. The proposed ban would drastically reduce our revenue, directly leading to the closure of my service station. I understand the concerns leading to this bill, but it's crucial to consider its consequences on small businesses owners like myself. The suggestion to turn to a dispensary for legal cannabis is not a viable possibility for my business. My faith strictly prohibits the sales or use of cannabis. By supporting this bill, you're not only affecting the availability of certain products, but also endangering the existence of business that community members rely on. This decision forces us to choose between our ethical beliefs and our survival. I urge you to reconsider the implication of HF 2177 on the lives of businesses owners like myself. I have invested everything to the promise of this country. Let us find a balanced approach that addresses public health concerns without destroying the livelihood of hardworking individuals who contribute positively to this community. Also, there's a lot of health discussions today. Corn syrup and MSG is worse than tobacco. Maybe we should focus on that first. Thank you for the opportunity to testify in front of you today.
Thank you for your testimony. So Joe Zerka should come down, and next is Tom Madden. Welcome to the committee.
Hello, my name is Tom Madden. I'm a small business owner in Minnetonka. I have a vape store. And Representative Atcomb, nice to see you. As you remember, we tried a flavor ban in Tonka years ago, and that was rejected harshly by the community, mainly with adult testimony saying how electronic cigarettes help them quit smoking. As an owner of 12 years of a vape store, I can honestly say I've seen hundreds of adults we've helped quit smoking. Even at that meeting, we saw one of the city council members mention her father who quit smoking not because of the electronic cigarette, but because of the mango flavor. There's a news flash. Smokers don't like the taste of cigarettes. They like the nicotine. At that same meeting, another proposal was to raise the age of e-cigarettes to 21 from 18. As a business owner, I was a huge fan of that proposal. These products should not be in the hands of any teenager in the state of Minnesota. Study after study has shown that vape stores do the best job of meticulously carding their customers at the age of 21. We have very few products. If we lose these products, we're out of business. If the goal is to remove the product out of the kids' hands, then let's restrict the sale to only vape stores. I myself have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old son. Let's not confuse the e-cigarettes and analog cigarettes. Simply because they have the same name, they are entirely different products. That is the equivalency of comparing a grizzly bear to a teddy bear. They do not represent the same product line. E-liquid has been around since the year 2001, introduced into the United States in the year 2002. The groundbreaking study out of the United Kingdom, August of 2015, shows that 95% electronic cigarettes are 95% safer than analog cigarettes. This study goes back to 2015. It's been tested time and time again, and it continues to hold up the test of time. It is entitled Public Health of England, Electronic Cigarettes. I urge all of the committee here to look at that. England was in the 50s, was 10 years ahead of this country, telling the world that cigarettes will cause cancer. The U.S. turned our back, turned our eye, and it wasn't until 12 years later that we finally realized that cigarettes cause cancer. We need to wake up in this country and realize that electronic cigarettes are the way to help our community live healthier lives. Currently,
I have to ask you to wrap up, please.
Okay, I'll be quick. I'll make one last point. Okay. If the concern is the high level of nicotine in these products, to address the levels of it, we must also address the levels of caffeine. As any doctor will tell you, nicotine and caffeine are the same.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you right here. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Okay, only one more.
Okay, no,
we had a doctor go to over 3 minutes, but you cut me off at 2 minutes and 50
we're all
seconds.
2 minutes, sir, and
but that
you're way
Dr.
over,
Brocken went 3 minutes and 1 second.
Paul Lampland, please come down. Next is Joe Zerka.
Hi. I'm Madam Chair and members of the House Health, Finance and Policy Committee. My name is Joe Zerka, and I'm the owner of Stop and Shop and A to Z Tobacco in Minneapolis. I'm here today to express my strong opposition to HF 2177, which seeks to ban all flavored tobacco products in the state of Minnesota. My businesses, which include a gas station convenience store opened in 1997 by my father and my uncle, and a tobacco store opened in 2018 before the menthol ban, were completely destroyed by the riots in May 2020. Both businesses were closed for 16 months, and I had to completely rebuild from the ground up. It was an extremely challenging journey, but in 2021, I was finally able to reopen my stores. Now HF 2177 threatens to destroy my businesses all over again and will result in having to let go of 17 employees, as my businesses will not survive this ban. This ban will not keep people from smoking flavored tobacco. They will still be able to find them in other places. You are creating a black market and creating more crime in our city. Turning people to buy their flavored tobacco products in unregulated places is definitely not in the interest of public health. With online retailers and criminals selling illicit products, who knows where that product is coming from or what's in it? Plus, they do not care about the age of the people they are selling to, which opens the door to more youth to access tobacco products. Instead of banning flavored tobacco products, I urge you to allow legitimate retailers in Minnesota, like me, to continue to sell them. My staff is very well trained in the age verification process, and we refuse to sell to anyone who is not at least 21 years old. For these reasons, I respectfully urge you to consider the negative impact of HF 2177 and the unintended consequences it will have on public health. Please do not move forward with HF 2177. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you today.
All right, thank you for your testimony. And so the next one at the table will be Joe O'Connor, and that will be the last testifier. And welcome to the committee, Mr. Lampland.
Yes, my name is Paul Lampland. I thank you, Madam Chair and committee members, for my testimony. I am a advocate for vapors and an employee and contractor in the industry. I'm here to voice my strong opposition to this bill, HF 2177. Flavored vaping products are sold exclusively by retail stores that only allow to 21-plus consumers. We are a highly regulated industry with federal and state enforcement. There is no need to further prevent or prohibit the use of these products. Flavored vapes and vaping were developed as a harm reduction solution for those who would like to quit the continued use of combustible tobacco products. Combustible tobacco is a much bigger threat, and the tax revenues from vaping products can be directed to the funding of cessation programs. The switch to vaping products is a healthier option to traditional smoking, and Big Tobacco would love to see that competition go away. It is true that nicotine is an addictive product. However, vaping has no-nic and low nicotine options to wean smokers away from their addiction as an option to nicotine usage. Flavor options give choice to consumers. They should have the same rights that are offered to cannabis beverages or alcoholic beverages. I have not seen any rush to legislate alcoholic seltzers like the ones that resemble lemonade or Mountain Dew. Are they not targeting young adults? If so, why is there not the same vigor to abolish them? Because they are age restricted, so are flavored vaping products. Education is needed on how this industry has replaced the unhealthy use of consuming traditional tobacco products and offered alternatives by creating so many options via flavors that appeal to a large segment of the population for smoking cessation away from combustible tobacco. Prohibition of these products only drives consumers to less regulated products and will proliferate in a black market that is unregulated by the FDA. Certainly, the idea that young adults are using vaping products, the assumption that they're getting these products through the normal channels is just absolutely wrong.
I have to ask you to wrap up, please.
I implore the committee representatives not to take the position with the popular moral high ground stance that this HF 2177 bill. Flavored vaping is not equivalent to tobacco. It is a safer solution to quitting nicotine addiction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. So Joe O'Connor, is he here? Okay, so I guess not. Okay, so that's our testimony concludes. We are way over time, but Representative Chalk, sure, come on back. Thank you. And so we are going to have a little bit of member discussion, and Representative Quam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Basically, a lot of things were touched on here about the full consideration of the distribution and et cetera. But the curiosity I have is I've never smoked. And I know that there are some people that from their doctors are being told to do this and this to help quit smoking. If a doctor wished for certain vape products for a patient to use, would that be prohibited from this bill?
Representative Cha.
I'm going to yield that to Emily Anderson. Thank you.
Yeah, please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, Chair Liebling, members of the committee. My name is Emily Anderson. I'm the Director of Policy at the Association for Non-Smokers Minnesota. Our organization is a member of the Minnesotans for a Smoke-Free Generation Committee. I will, to respond to the question, Chair Liebling, Representative Quam, the e-cig companies actually sued the FDA to not be considered cessation devices. That was back in 2010. What we do know is that Minnesotans can access free cessation that is FDA approved. Here in the state, they have access to cessation like gum, patch, lozenger, as well as free counseling. These are products that have been approved by the FDA for tobacco cessation and have gone through the rigorous FDA standards that are required for drugs on the market.
Just quickly, Madam Chair, I think it's silly and childish to assume that there aren't individuals that would respond better to some of these, and I don't care what the manufacturers say. I care what the doctor who knows the patient says, and I hope that we look at that impact. Thank you.
All right, Representative Doe, and then we're going to go to Representative Cha for a very brief closing, and then we're going to vote on the bill. Representative Nadeau.
Thank you, Chair Liebling. And the testifier, Emily, thanks for coming up there. My question is, we have 29 municipalities currently in Minnesota that have enacted a ban similar to this. Is there any evidence to suggest, has it been long enough where we've actually, we can determine that a ban of this sort will reduce adolescent tobacco use?
Ms. Anderson.
Chair Liebling, Representative Nadeau. What we do know is that this is a best practice for tobacco prevention, that the Surgeon General actually said that prohibiting flavors, including menthol, will help public health by reducing initiation among young people and promoting cessation among adults. We also know that no one policy is the golden ticket for reducing tobacco use among all populations, that these policies work in concert with other policies such as Tobacco 21, which the legislature passed in 2020. And we do have evidence that in communities with policies that are well implemented and well enforced, including these flavor policies in the 29 Minnesota communities, that we're seeing rates, especially among young, initiation rates among young people decline.
All right. Thank you. Representative Cha, final short closing, and then we're going to vote.
Thank you, Chair. In closing, I want to stress that protecting kids from flavored tobacco products has long been a bipartisan support. I want to thank all the co-authors on this committee for their support, and the chair and vice chair and minority lead for hearing this bill. I want to leave us with one thing I want to share with all of you. Dad, last year when you decided to carry the House Bill File 2177, it gave me the courage I needed to quit smoking. I want to share with the committee that as of May 2023, I have been smoke-free. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be winners and losers in this bill. But the winners, I guarantee you, will be the youth and the future of Minnesotans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative Cha, and thank you to all of the testifiers. With that, I'm going to renew my motion that House File 2177 as amended be re-referred to the Committee on Commerce, Finance, and Policy. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. The motion prevails, and the bill is on its way. Thank you very much.